this was the one I did this morning about when I was talking about tracing. I'm not gonna do much more to it. I quite like the freshness of it. If I didn't do anything to it after I stopped filming it, so I like the freshness of it. I like what's happening down the bottom there as well. So, and yeah, but just I think that was probably a response to the after doing the pastels, because it was, so as you saw me doing it was quite relaxing and not at all complicated, which is what the pastels were, and I feel almost. I almost feel refreshed after doing the charcoal. I'm going to draw this lady here, which is hair and shadows. That's all I can think of. I'm not, I'm a bit wary of getting a bit too much like a mad charcoal kind of thing, chucking the charcoal around and then just going for it. But I'm going to draw it anyway, just as an image that I found, and try not to think too much about the images. I do put some effort into finding the images, but if you're not careful, I could lose hours looking for images. So anything that's close will do. It's this kind of thing. And I think the trick is with it is not to look for something specific. For me, I've got to. If I did that, I'd never find what I was looking for. But I've just got to see what catches my eye. Literally, see what catches my eye. That's the way that it works. So I'm just trying to get the. I'm not doing a podcast, so I'm just trying to get things in the right place. So this is that thing about it. I mean, I do look for dots. I admit that I'm looking for locations of things, but I'm not quite at that point where I'll be doing that just yet. But yeah, I'll be doing that at some point. But initially, I think it's more a case of just getting to know the face. I think this is the hello and how do you do kind of stage. The first time you meet somebody kind of stage, and then it transposes into the more specific. Definite stuff. I just seen an ad for a free portrait session thing tomorrow. I think it's, what day is it? Saturday. Yeah, Sunday. There's a free portrait thing, and I remember last time I went on this I went and did it. And I think I ended up paying $5 or something. It was supposed to be free, but you had to sign up to get it. And I remember feeling how disappointed I was. I actually drew along with this thing, and then and it was a well-known professional guy that did this demo, and I was kind of waiting for him to catch up, and in the end, I think he'd set himself 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that, and of course, how quickly I work, and I just kept drawing different versions of it. But I'm not really a fan. It was an image, so I'm not really a fan of drawing the same thing twice. I don't like to do that. But I did. But anyway, I actually recorded myself doing it and sent it. Tagged it and sent it because you were supposed to tag it and put it on your stream, and it will show up everybody. And it didn't. Funnily, it didn't show up with everybody else. I don't know why. It would do, wouldn't it, if it was tagged? I don't know why. How you make it do that? I've no idea. Yeah, so I'm not really just at this stage now. I think I'm gonna rest at wherever it is now, and I'm going to start looking at the things in more detail, a bit more shape to it and things. I think this is probably, I know people do this, but this is probably one of the things about charcoal, this ability to get this, the strong tones in. But I'm kind of, because of the way I do this, I'm kind of drawing with the tones in the finished state straight away. I mean, I don't really want to get to the tones too quick. I've said to you before, I have this thing where I need to keep my comparison senses actually pure, rather than being overridden by a definite black somewhere. So getting the blacks, finding the darkest darks and all that, it doesn't work for me. I can't calibrate when things are too dark. So I'll try and avoid it. Even though I use tones, as you can see, I use tones to find the shapes. But not really the actual tones. And sometimes it'll be too dark, sometimes it'll be too light. But it's just a case of getting things identified. think the other thing from from the difference from working with the pastels was the or is the kind of lack of experimentation through exploration. You know, the kind of doing that and see what happens and doing that. You know, they're too busy trying to make it work. You know, for the marks to actually get on the paper to consider just doing something that's not predictable, you know, not a definite. Which I suppose is the going back to the, you know, the freehand thing for me. It is an exploration. That's what it is. I'm exploring the face. I'm exploring the shapes that make the face and the tones that make the face. And something like this, perfect example. You know, it's sort of, you can do what you like with it. Not trying to make it a, you know, photo replica thing. I think the best bit is when the hair gets into, you know, I get to doing the hair. Only because it's like crazy shapes, crazy patterns. I was looking at somebody this morning who'd done a pastel, soft pastel profile, and this person got their hair up, but quite loose, and they're drawing every hair, you know. And I'm always impressed by that. I just can't. I just don't have the patience gene at all. It just, I think that's old age that's done that, but because I think once upon a time I did, but just to see that, I'm just complete awe of that. I think anybody that's like the guy that draws knitting, you know, that the Chinese guy that does are amazing, and he draws every stitch in the knitting. That's just, you know, mind-boggling. I mean, I'd probably fall asleep doing it, but it's for them. It's like it's just a massive, massive thing. But for me, I would, like you say, I'd just fall asleep. There's a guy, Stephen, I think it's begins with a B anyway. He draws some amazing light. It just reminded me of this because I think one of his is a bit like this. I mean, obviously it's painstakingly produced, and it's, you know, every highlight on the face is there, and, you know, again, stuff that puts me to sleep, but it's very similar to this. And he draws faces with people stood in front of blinds. Quite a, you know, a cliche. I heard a lot of people do that kind of thing, but I think he might have been one of the first to do it. And again, it's just incredible. And close up as well, it's very impasto, the paint. So again, a very skillful application. I think it's a funny thing that it's the skill thing. I'm not really. I'm not for a long while have I been impressed by skill. It's not, but I've wanted to be, you know, apply skill to anything as a you know, a definition of what I'm doing. Highly skillful and all that, you know. I don't really rate skill as a, you know, as a thing. It's just something that's you practice loads of times, isn't it? It's like practicing your forehand volley, you know, in tennis, that kind of thing. You just get good at it because you keep doing it. That can't be right, can it? It's how people supposedly learn to draw. You know, they keep doing it over and over again. I'm not going to get these curls exactly right, but I'm going to get them somewhere close, and then I'm going to come back with a rubber. If I can leave a little bit of white showing through here and there, then that can be, as I fix it with more accuracy. Those can be the highlights in between the greys. I think with light that's on a face like this, you can go as far as you want with it. I think it's always one of those, and because it fragments the face, you know, into various shapes. Somehow it seems a lot easier to draw, and the fact that you're accentuating the way that light's hitting the face, it makes it look even more real. That's why it looks now quite finished, because and the light's hitting it right and all the rest of it. It's because I'm just identifying these simple shapes that are being made by the light on the face. It's quite a contradictory thing. If you think, oh, it's going to be really complicated to do that, and it's not. It's not really complicated at all. I've done quite a few of the more you know, where the face is more highlighted by or it is highlighted by shadow, or it's flooded by shadow. I've done quite a few of those, and they always seem to be quite a rapid thing. You know, they seem to shape up pretty quick. It seems quite complicated, doesn't it? But the thing is that I always find that complicated is the easiest thing to simplify, but it's not really simplify. It's just take out what's not important. It's reduction. I always think it's belies the, if you want to chase the complexity of it and get every hair in the right place, fair enough. But we're not really trying to do that. We're trying to make it imply and suggest the way that the hair's falling, and that is a lot easier than what you think it is. And I'm the worst at getting things in the same place. I can't draw the furrows on a forehead, let alone every hair following a pattern, following a designated style. I can't do anything like that. So this is why I do the imply and suggest thing. But it all fits with the, only drawing what's important and all that kind of stuff. So it all falls into the same category. And so it's a lot easier for me. Well, that was a quick one, wasn't it? I said you kind of. I can never predict how it's going to turn out, but something like this you think was quite complicated, and yet not complicated at all. I think it's probably because everything's a shape and tones. Everything's shape and tones. And if I look at it in that sense, then there's lots of shapes and tones that all are related to each other. And I just find the relationships and away you go. Size, location, all that kind of stuff. And And that's it. I don't think there's any more complicated than that. I try not to think about it too much. So done. I might just put a little bit more into the hair. I'm just looking at, sort of there's this distance here and there's this distance here, and it just comes out a little bit more. It is lopsided, so but I think if I can just imply it comes out a little bit further,